Yo, what up, what up, what up? It's your boy Jack, aka vipcars, back at it again for the KDMculture PH YouTube channel. And today we've got a big interior mod coming up. I would like to say that it's one of the biggest interior mods you can do for your car, and that's the Starlights, baby. We're gonna go ahead and hook this baby up to the whole entire headliner. I've got about 600 fiber optics that we can go ahead and put through this headliner. And I've also got some shooting stars mechanism, so that way we can try to fit that in there. So all in all, we're gonna have 600 fiber optics hanging from the headliner. It's quite of a big project, so I'm requesting some assistance from my neighbor that assisted me with installing the map light previously. So you know, I'm trying to get a head start on this project. We're trying to get the show running early on towards the day, so that way we can try to hopefully try to knock it down by the end of today, and I'll show you guys how it all turns out. But with that being said, like I said, it's going to be a tedious project, so I'm going to try to give as much detail as I can as I do this sort of thing. There is a ton of installation videos out there on YouTube, some for 1200, 1800 Starlight kits, but I'm only doing 600, and trust me, 600 is more than enough for my subcompact car. So I think this should fit perfectly, and hopefully with the layout that I've got planned, it'll look good. You know, and as you can see, I've already got some of the door handles, the oh shit handles I should say, removed already. I've got the visors removed already as well. Still got to take off the map light, the dome light, and the side lights, the custom side lights I had installed over there. So yeah, I got quite some work ahead of us today, but you know, hopefully we can knock this out by the end of today. I got a pretty good plan already. I got an idea of what I want everything laid out. So yeah, I'm gonna go ahead and give you guys a quick breakdown of the items I'm gonna be using, the stuff that we're gonna be putting on the car, the fiber optics, the mechanism, the whole 9 yards. So with that being said, I'll be right back, guys.
Driving aimlessly, ride deep thoughts, just ride with me. Cruising over my KDM, don't say the word, just ride with me. Driving aimlessly, ride deep thoughts, just ride with me. Cruising over my KDM, don't say the word, just ride with me. Let's vibe.
Alright guys, welcome back. Here we are, going to give you a quick little breakdown of the items that we've got so far. A little bit of explanation or breakdown of what each item does and what it's for. So let's go ahead and start off with the smallest one, which is, this is the machine for the shooting stars. I believe there's 12 holes here that goes in a certain firing order upon checking it online, but I'm not sure how it works. Now, I did get this kit from the US for roughly 250 bucks with the LED fiber optic light for the meteor showers or the shooting stars. So of course it has its own remote, its own power supply, and I believe on these little things is where you put the fiber optic cables at, and you put them in here and lock them in place. So like I said, there's about 12, and I think each one of these would probably be able to fit anywhere from 3 to 5 or 4 to 7 around there, depending on the thickness of the fiber optic cable. And moving on to the next one, we got this, which is the main machine right here. As you can see, it's a little bit chunky, so trying to find somewhere to put this at would be a little bit tricky. I'm thinking somewhere behind the seat. Hopefully the cables will reach long enough. And this one does have the twinkling effect. What that does is this little machine inside here, or that little disc you can see right there, kind of rotates clockwise or counterclockwise, so that way the light kind of has that flickering twinkling effect. So yeah, and of course that thing has its own set of remote too, its own set of power supply. So hopefully with all this we can get it hardwired onto the car on a fuse or something, and that's where I need the help of the electrician, my neighbor. And next we're moving on to the fiber optic cables itself. I believe these fiber optic cables are, let's see if I can try to get them zoomed in. This one's 300, and I got 2 sets of 150, so that's why I said I had 600 all together. So we still gotta throw them all on there, mix them all, and hopefully try to fit them on this little slot, all 600 of them. Or actually, I would say not exactly 600, but I would say maybe 500, and let's say 500, 520, give or take, since 540, since some of these fiber optic cables still have to go through the shooting stars. So for the majority, hopefully it'll fit in there. It looks like there's plenty of room for a couple hundred extra fiber optics on there for the main machine. And this whole fiber optic cable, I believe, is 2 meters long each. So that's gonna be running it a little bit tight if I want to get a full coverage on my headliner. But at the same time, hopefully what I've got planned will work out. I got it planned to mount this machine somewhere on the back seat or on the rear of the seats by my air suspension system. Hopefully, fingers crossed, it'll have enough space to clear that. And of course, since we're talking about clearing the spaces and short fiber optic cables, I went ahead and made sure that I got some extensions, some dual cables here, some splitters, and I believe these are the power source. That just an extension, I believe, but these things are, I believe, 3 or 5 meters. I forgot which ones I got, but I got a couple of them for each machine just in case, so we don't run into any issues. And I've got some wires here for hard wiring. So I pretty much got the whole thing. These are all extra, by the way. They didn't come with the kit. These I had to buy all on my own and kind of do my own little research. I even had a cigarette plug here, lighter, just in case we can use that. And I think this one is also 3 meters, but it doesn't matter. I mean, if I use this, that's why I have the extension cables for. So hopefully that'll do the trick. Get it hardwired. And this one is just a USB for the a 3 meter USB cable for the shooting stars, since I believe that only runs on 3 watts, unlike this one, which will run on 16 watts or 12 volts, I believe. But yeah. Oh, of course, some glue. How can I forget? You know, some cheap ass glue. Hopefully it'll do the trick when I'm trying to glue these fiber optics down once I get them set on the headliner so they don't move around. But yeah, it's gonna be a little bit tricky. It's gonna be a little bit tight, but I'm excited about this project. It's something that I've been looking forward to doing for quite some time, and I got this as well to help me assist me. It's like a small little ice pick. Hopefully this will let me try to zoom in or focus. This little thingamajiggy will help me poke 600 holes on top of the headliner. It's fairly small, fairly sharp, so hopefully it'll do the trick. I just need to make a small, hole on there 600 times. So like I said, it's a little bit tedious, but at the end of the day, I believe I'm prepared, and I planned for a couple months to try to get everything as much as I can. And this is a small 45-degree nail cutter for cutting the fibers at the end when it's all hang and it's all said and done. This is for the final touches. But yeah, as you can see, that's pretty much the whole kit. Hopefully I didn't miss out on anything, and hopefully it's more than enough to get the installation completed for what we need to do for this project. But yeah, on that, I'll see you guys in a little bit when I get to my neighbor's house, and once we start taking out the headliner. And like I said, I try to get as much detailed as I can regarding this installation without taking up too much of your time. I appreciate you guys tuning in. See you guys in a little bit. All right, deuces. All right, here we have the headliner taken apart. I've gone ahead and started marking the top half, which is the driver's side and the passenger side. I've gone ahead and put a couple, I would say 100, 125 on each side, and now as you can see, I'm starting to poke holes through them with that little tool that I had. Just makes quick little puncture holes onto the leather material without destroying it too much. As you can see, I've marked it down with a marker or a Sharpie. That way I can kind of have a guideline on where the holes are supposed to go into. And I've gone ahead and done the other half, which is the bottom half. As you can see, it's a little bit longer, so I've gone ahead and spread out the couple hundred dots or template I was making for the fiber optics. And here we are, starting to put some fiber optics down on the farthest side of the vehicle, which is the passenger side. As you can see, fiber optics are working nice and well. and I've gone ahead and mounted them. And as you can see here, we've gone ahead and started working on the meteor shower or the shooting stars module as well. We've gone ahead and put 100 fiber optics on that little machine. So right now we've gone ahead and started marking the shooting stars or the custom stars, and the ones mounted on that module you can see right there on that little black one, which is the shooting stars and a meteor shower module. So we've tried to add my own little personal touches to it. You're gonna have to wait and see what that is, but I'm kind of just messing around. And as you can see here, I'm starting to put glue on the fiber optics here. I believe we already got done poking all the holes through and running all the fiber optic cables that we needed to. As you can see here, I'm just kind of being tedious. It is kind of a messy job, but I really don't give a crap. I'm just trying to get it over with, because at this time we've already been at it for 8 hours, so it was quite tedious. As you can see, there's a lot of fiber going around. I try to make it as clean as I could with the help of my neighbor, but at the same time, I mean, this is our first time doing it, so you know, we tried the best as we could. I've decided to actually mount that module on the top of the headliner itself, since it's fairly light and it saves us a lot more space with the fiber optics. As you can see, it's all laid out, all 600 of them dotted down, and I tried to spread it as best as I could evenly towards the whole surface. And here, that's where we got the big module, or the, I would say the what is it, Starlight module with the twinkling effect, tucked right behind the rear seats in a little compartment back there, so that way it's nice and tidy. And as you can see, we've got the headliner already put back up. A gang of strands is all hanging out. That's about 600 of them. I haven't made any cuts yet. We're just kind of test fitting it, seeing how it looks. But yeah, there you go. I mean, you can see it's all over the place. The Starlight isn't on yet. This is just the shooting stars, which is all white. That's why you only see certain parts of it. We haven't wired up the Starlight yet, so I'm just doing a little bit of a test. And as you can see, yeah, it's all, you know, the shooting stars chasing effect. And here I am cutting some of them off, the fiber optics off, cleaning it up with a 45-degree angle nail cutter, trying to be as close as I can without ripping the material or the leather, and just trying to be careful. Alright guys, welcome back. As you can probably tell, we've been at it all day, all night. It took longer than expected, I would say more than 10 to 12 hours, but at least I'm at the final stages now. I've got pretty much the whole interior back up, all the door handles, the seats, the headliner. Now I just gotta get to the trimming part, so I've got a bunch of them. I still got to get cut and whatnot, but as soon as I get that taken care of, I'll go ahead and show you guys a more complete preview that I think you're really going to enjoy. So stay tuned. I'll be right back. Let me just clean the rest of this stuff up, and I'll get back to you guys with a final result. All right, stay tuned. You don't want to miss this. And we're down to our last few ones. I believe this is the last of it. Man, this shit is tedious, y'all. 600 fiber optics. Had to cut one by one. But And this is under light from my phone, but look at that. Let's go ahead and turn the lights off and give you guys a better preview here in a second. Bam. Goes all the way to the back here. 600 fiber optics. Couple shooting stars here and there. There's more like a pattern. I didn't really do any shooting stars. Maybe like one. But this is controllable over the phone as well. And let me just pull up the app for a sec. But it's definitely a vibe in here, man. It looks pretty sick. I'm just kind of cycling through the colors right now, trying to kind of figure out which one I like. But here's the app, so you can just kind of pick which color you want. We have a remote for this as well, but yeah, this is kind of convenient. I like it. Now the good thing with the app is it's also one with the meteor lights that I've got. As you can see in the bottom here, there's a meteor section for that. And I'll just kind of go through them. So, check on which one that I like. Let's just focus on the front two ones right now. So, it's over 20 different modes for the meteors. You kind of control the speed as well. See, I'll play with it in a little bit, but I just want to show you guys what it's looking like right now. A couple different meteors. Set the speed. And we've put a couple twinkle stars in there too, because the meteor lights only came in white. So that's where you see the random stars spread out through the whole top of the headliner. But as for the modes for the let's see here, modes for the Starlight itself, see there's a 7-color fade. There's a whole bunch of modes here. It's kind of just cycle through them: red and green, red and blue, 7-color, RGB flash. I'm kind of enjoying this. Which one was it? This purple and cyan. It's kind of dope. Kind of mix and match. So still gotta play with it a little. But overall, I'm loving it, man. It's a fucking vibe. It was well worth the 12 plus hours I put in. Mind this, with my neighbor, just trying to get this shit done. But at the end of the day, hey, I'm very happy with the results. I think 600 is more than enough to satisfy my needs. And yeah, it's definitely one of those interior mods where you're just like, it's fucking so time consuming and so tiring, but in the end, once you see it all finished and you know, in all its glory, it's fucking sick, man. That shit is dope. You know what I mean? But let me clean myself up, and I'll get back to you guys in a little bit. All right, just I'll do a little bit more rolls as well, some shots. All right, folks. Well, that wraps it up for today's episode. It was very tiring and very time consuming. It's already very late into the night. I worked on 12 plus hours on this headliner along with my neighbor, but I just had to turn on the light real quick for the outro. But as you can see, even with the lights on, man, that shit is fairly bright. But yeah, I've gone ahead and finished trimming all of the fiber optics. There's still some that are still poking out a little bit, and I gotta clean it up to make sure it's flush with the headliner. But I'll go ahead and do that some other time, perhaps on a daytime, because I'm spent, I'm tired, I'm exhausted. But as you can see, it was well worth it, man. That shit is clean. You know what I mean? It was definitely worth it. But other than that, I appreciate you guys tuning in. I hope you enjoyed this episode. I'm not sure if there's a whole lot of cars that's got these done on their KDMs, on their Hyundai Accents at least. But yeah, it was very time consuming, but in the end, it was all worth it, man. Look at that shit. That shit is clean. But like I said, I still gotta play with the settings, figure out which settings I like, which ones I prefer. But at the end of the day, I think I didn't do too bad of a job for doing it myself. At least I didn't DIY, destroy it yourself in this case. So I think I did a pretty good job. And yeah, I'll see you guys on the next one. Thanks for tuning in, like I always say. Treat yourself. Don't cheat yourself. It's your boy Jack, aka VIP Accent, signing out for the KDM Culture PH channel. Peace. Deuces.
Waking up anew, wasting time is all I do.